In this video, I'm going to show you how to install our MDeck BA-2 Bluetooth retrofit kit into a BMW CM5905 or CM5907 radio. Installation should take about 1 to 2 hours and uses just a few different size Phillips and flathead screwdrivers, plus a BMW special tool available on our website and linked below. Let's review the parts included in your kit. You should have the circuit board itself with 3 screws installed on the side, a combined microphone and aux cable, the mic and mic clip, and a 5-pin wiring harness. Your kit may also contain an 8-pin harness, which you can disregard. Let's start with the radio in the car, or at least pretend it is. The first step is always to disconnect the car battery. To remove the radio, use a small flathead screwdriver to pry up on the plastic door at each side of the radio. Use the BMW special tool to unscrew the screw under each until it stops. Grab the doors and gently pull the radio out of the dash. Disconnect all the wiring connections on the back of the radio and take it to a workbench or table to continue working. At the bench, let's begin by removing the top lid. Remove these 2 screws from the back of the lid and these small black screws on each side. With all 4 of these, use a well-fitting screwdriver and be careful not to round out the heads. Sometimes they can be very tight. Use a flathead between the lid and radio chassis to pry it rearwards until you can pull the lid up and off the radio. Next, we're going to remove the faceplate. Use your fingers or a small flathead screwdriver to gently pry the volume knob and tone slider knobs off. Remove the 4 screws holding the faceplate on here, 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 and here. Looking towards the front of the radio from inside, gently depress this black plastic tab with the flathead to release the faceplate and pull it straight away. We need to remove this circuit board at the front left. It's held in with 1 screw. There's a dab of solder touching the screw, but press firmly on your screwdriver and it shouldn't be hard to break the joint. Pull the circuit board out and lay it over the side. Let's go ahead and remove this piece of paper and tape. On this front piece, use a finger to hold down the flexible plastic connector it's stuck to as you gently pull off the tape. Next, we have to dismount the LCD display. There's a tab on each side holding it against the chassis. Take a small flathead and depress these tabs, allowing each side to come forward. Pull it down and out of the way. Behind the LCD, unplug this wiring connection to the cassette deck. Underneath, remove this screw that secures the LCD backlight assembly to the radio chassis. Pull the backlight assembly forward and out of the radio. If your radio has this circuit board at the rear, not all do, we recommend removing it. Pull off the paper cover and save it, then remove the single screw and lay the board over the edge. Remove the 2 remaining wiring connections at the back of the cassette deck. Begin with the one on the left. Grab the wiring bundle near the base and rock the connector side to side while pulling up. The connector on the right holds in this white flat cable. It has a locking sleeve we need to unlock to remove the cable. Use a flathead to gently work the sleeve up until it stops. Now you can pull the cable up and out. We're finally ready to remove the cassette deck from the radio. It's held in by 5 screws we'll take out. These are located here, 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 and 1 on the side over here. Grab this ground strap at the back right and bend it up and out of the way. Make sure the wiring is clear, then grab the cassette deck and maneuver it up and out. Next, we need to transfer 3 of the mounting tabs from the cassette deck to the new board. Each tab stays in its same respective location, but will be attached to the new board with the screws included in the kit. These screws you remove from the cassette deck are no longer needed. Using the included screws, attach the tabs to the new board. Hold the tabs flat as you tighten down the screws. Back in the radio, we need to remove this wiring connector to install our replacement. First, grab this wiring loom in black wrap and pull it to the side. Now, grab our bundle, wiggle and pull backwards until it comes out. Take the included 5-pin wiring harness with the pink side facing up and plug either end into the receptacle. Make sure the cable is securely in and can take a light tug. Now we're ready to install the new board. First, go ahead and attach the connector we just removed into its new receptacle on the bottom of the board. Then, plug the connector at the front right into its new home. With that, go ahead and drop the board into place, making sure the tabs stay on top of the perches they sit on. Secure the board in place using 3 of the screws we removed here, here, and here. As you tighten down the screws, push the board towards the front of the radio as far as it will go. Let's reinstall some wiring harnesses. This one goes here. This new one wraps around and goes here. And once it's installed, put some gentle bends in the cable to get it to sit flat. Then there's the white flex cable we're going to install into its new connector. Slide the sleeve into the unlocked position. Now, inspect the cable to make sure there's no bent or crossed traces, and flatten the factory crease out to make it easier to install. As the board indicates, the cable should be aligned to the left side as it's inserted, so gently line up the cable against the left edge in the slot and push it into place. When the cable's fully in, pull the sleeve back to the locked position. At the back right, bend this ground strap back down and reinstall its screw. Next, let's reinstall the LCD. Let's start with the backlight. We want these 2 tabs on the bottom of the backlight to sit just in front of the radio chassis here. Once it's positioned in place, reinstall the screw at the rear. Double check the tabs are still in front of the chassis when you're done. Reinstall the LCD screen by compressing the tab on each side and catching it behind the radio chassis. When you're done, grab and move the screen a little bit to make sure it's securely in place. Tidying up, let's reinstall this circuit board at the front left. Catch this tab in the slot in the chassis, and then reinstall the screw. If your radio has this circuit board at the back, now's a good time to reinstall it, and its paper cover. Let's reinstall the faceplate. Just line it up and evenly, gently press it on, making sure nothing's binding and that the tab in the center catches on the chassis. Go ahead and reinstall the 4 screws that hold it on. And press the volume knob and both the slide knobs back into place. Notice they all have a correct orientation. Last step inside, we'll install the cable that brings the mic and aux jacks to the outside of the radio. Gently press the white connector into its receptacle from each side. Now, route the cable through the small slit in the chassis right here. Okay, we're ready to reinstall the top lid. First, we need to get this tab below this edge, this tab below this edge, and this tab below this edge. When you get that, hold it in place. Now at the back, bend the back side out just a little bit to allow it to come down. Push it fully into place and forward. And now you can reinstall the 2 screws in the side and the 2 in the back. Working in the car, you'll now need to install the included microphone. At least in an E30, it's recommended to use the clip-on microphone mount pushed over the back edge of this headliner trim piece right here. Run the cable down the door by pulling off the weather stripping and tucking the microphone cable into it. When the cable has been run this way down to the dash, route the cable out of the weather stripping channel, remove any under dash bolsters or trim, and run the cable across into the radio area. We're ready to reinstall the radio in the car, so go ahead and reconnect all the wiring we unplugged earlier. Now take the new mic and aux cable and plug the microphone into the mic input, and if you have an aux device, plug it into the aux input. Push the radio back into the dash, tighten the screws on each side, and shut the little plastic doors. You can now reconnect the car battery and turn the radio on. Enter the security code and you're ready to rock. Head to your phone's Bluetooth settings to connect and turn it up. You can find more info on this kit and purchase everything you might need for installation on our website, cantaloperadio.com. Let us know if you have any questions in the comments below, and thanks for watching.